Greetings, fam. My name is Jihad. I'm about to bring to you the realest truth you may have never witnessed. Allow me to take you on a journey through the Afro-futuristic matrix. The key to God, freedom, and tomorrow is in this story. Dark Horse Assassin, Rise of the Messiah, Chapter 0. The beginning of the end of times. April 3rd, 2002, Manhattan, New York. Arguably, the three most powerful men in the world were sitting at the One World Order Trilateral Commission Roundtable, 100 feet below the historic Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Manhattan. If the dictionary were to describe what an average middle-aged white male banker looked like, Bernie Schwartz's picture would have saved Mr. Webster from wasting words. Bernie, as he was called, was definitely not what Hollywood would deem your leading man type, standing flat-footed at 5'7" with a vampire complexion. He was maybe 160 pounds. You know, Bernie was far from being a physically imposing figure, but what his physical attributes lacked, his mental prowess more than made up for. Akin to beautiful people sleeping their way to the top, Bernie used his analytical prowess and sociopathic cunning to rise to his now Wizard of Oz-like status as chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank and head of the Trilateral Commission. Bernie was a planner. Everything, his successes, his failures, all had been planned down to the minutest detail. That's why it was odd to see him seemingly lost in thought as he stared straight ahead at the gray concrete underground walls, while George Bush, his subordinate, the head of the CIA, argued his case.
XR-13 has had 5 assignments since 9/11. 5. All executed flawlessly. 8 kills. In those months, he has not done anything to suggest that he has ulterior motives. General Maurice LeSure's quick temper would have derailed his NSA appointment 6 months ago if he had not had a garbage dump full of dirt on one too many movers and shakers in government. The physical opposite of Bernie, the NSA chief was a former standout college hoop star. At 6'5", he had the height, but his width and muscular disposition made him the prototype professional NFL lineman. To this very day, LeSure still held the record for heaviest starting basketball player in Rutgers' storied history. 35 years after leading Rutgers to its first NCAA championship, LeSure's 300-pound Ironman physique had jellied into 360 pounds of Michelin Man fat. Like his weight redistribution, his hair had done the same. As time went by, it slowly started to relocate from the top of his head to his ears, back, and finally nose. Although his hair and weight had made a transition, his penetrating blue eyes and the force of his baritone voice still had the power to make the strongest man quiver. Are you friggin' kidding me? General LeSure hammered his melon-sized fist on the walnut oak round table before extending an arm toward the CIA director. All you need is a friggin' mini, a halter, and some friggin' pom-poms, Gerald. For Christ's sake, we found a thumb drive in his mother's home on September 2nd, 9 days before we took out the towers. A thumb drive that had an unauthorized conversation with you and him on it. Gerald leaned forward, clasped his hands in front of him, and stared into the eyes of the NSA chief. The stare down lasted 15 seconds before the director spoke. Your feeble attempt to belittle and emasculate me, your loud, accusatory tone, nor does the tintinnabulation of your fist banging on the table, nor does your unwanted presence intimidate me in the least. So I would suggest that if you really must open your mouth and regurgitate the preschool thoughts that are swirling around in that liver-spotted bald head of yours, the least you can do is exercise some modicum of respect when speaking in my presence. You see, I respect your opinion, Maurice, and your passion for what and how you believe. But remember, he pointed a finger in the air, at the end of the day, he pointed that finger at himself. You answer to me. The general bounced out of his seat. Who in Sam hell? Chairman Schwartz slammed his titanium briefcase on top of the dark wood conference table. Gentlemen, his neutral position shifted to the NSA chief. Sit down, Maurice. Once the general was seated, Bernie sat down and turned his attention to the director. Gerald, give us the facts. The facts are this. I personally ordered the investigation into XR13, not because I suspected him of foul play. I ordered investigations into any and everyone that was involved with our plans to take out the towers and the Pentagon. It was an added security measure. Do I know why XR13 had a recording of he and I speaking about nothing on a thumb drive? No, I do not. But what I do know is that if XR13 was aware that we tortured and killed his mother, he would come for us. Do I think he suspects us? Yes, I do. But he will not out of suspicion. Do I think his mother was innocent? I do. But in war, there are always innocent casualties, and although we are not necessarily at war, we would be potentially in a civil war if America knew what we did on 9/11. We even put XR13's mother through some of the most painful torture techniques. Well, at least that is until her heart gave out. Her torture was a waste of the government's time and resources. She did not give us anything because she did not know anything. The director turned to the NSA chief. And before you ask, we did not interrogate XR13, Maurice, because he would only tell us what he wanted us to know. No amount of torture or sodium pentothal would loosen his tongue. Calm down, Bernie said. And how do you know this, Gerald? Because I trained him. In the end, Frankenstein turned on his creator. First, General LaSure, Frankenstein is a fictitious figment of its creator's imagination. Trouble XR13 Fraser is a living, breathing problem. Bottom line, Gerald, the bookish-looking chairman of the Federal Reserve interjected, what would be the potential fallout if XR13 were to go rogue? As you know, XR13 has been with us since 1968. He was one of the original recruits after we eliminated the agents that were involved with taking out Martin King. We recruited XR13 right out of the military, Navy SEAL. For the last 34 years, he's been the #1 sharpshooter in the world and one of only a handful of people that can build a nuclear device. In the over 30 years he's been with us, he's taking down an unheralded 413 targets. Gerald, stop pussyfooting around the real issue. Bernie asked you what the bottom line was. If you would sit down and let me finish, Maurice. Gerald, you are finished. You're the one who cultivated the relationship with the Bin Ladens, the Saudi government, and XR13. Oh, God, I voted for that darn terror campaign. I warned you. You might want to get some water before you start warning anybody. And let me ask you, you say you warned me? General Maurice Jefferson LaSure, I am your superior. What you just said is insubordinate. I don't work for you. The NSA chief's face twisted into a reminiscent mask of someone swallowing spoiled milk. I'll just answer to you. Like yourself, the Department of Defense pays my salary. You do not have the authority to remove me. You're right. I do not have the authority to remove you. But you know what, Maurice? I can make your job pure de hell. Now, if we want to start pointing fingers, you wrote the AFOC bill, Maurice. The American Foreign Oil Campaign is your baby. I never agreed to take out the Twin Towers or the Pentagon. You did not have to. The dollar was and still is on the verge of collapsing. We have nothing to secure the national debt, and we have nothing to back the American currency that's already in circulation. If China calls in our debt, America is screwed. We had no choice. There's always a choice. At the end of the day, XR13 was your man. You don't even know how much or what he has recorded over the years. Bernie stood up. The only way to contain this, gentlemen, is to eliminate XR13, his family, and every single agent he has worked with over the last 5 years, which is about the time we began planning 9/11 in the first place. Unfortunately, time is of the essence, and we do not have time to interrogate every damn body. I agree, but before we go after his family or the agents, I think we should definitely take out XR13 first. I detect a little trepidation in your voice, Gerald, the general said. Scared that the big, bad black 007 is gonna come for you? No, Maurice, I'm scared that he's coming for you. You see, when and if XR13 does come for me, I am sending him to your doorstep. I'm sure he'd enjoy inserting his big black manhood into Jessica and Janine. I wouldn't be concerned about Julie. My wife and girls, as God is my witness, the chief pointed a finger at the director. Gerald, one day I'm going to sit down and shut up, Maurice, so we can get this over with. Gerald, please continue and stop with all the damn drama. Thank you, Bernie, the director nodded. XR13 knows that we know that he knows something. Friggin' idiot, the general mumbled. Bernie made a stopping gesture with his left arm while shuffling some papers in front of him. Gentlemen, placing blame gets us nowhere. He looked down at a paper in front of him. XR13 has a 10-year-old son, Zion Uhuru Jones, by girlfriend Malia Jones. Eliminate her and the boy. That will draw him out. But he'll know we did it. Do we really want to risk XR13 going to the press? With what? Is he in possession of some damning evidence, Gerald? Is there something you have not told us? Of course there is not, but we don't know what hard copy intel he has in his possession. He did have a level 4 security. Level 4? No agent should ever, you know good and well, no agent should ever have a level 4 security clearance. Oh my gosh. We got to clean this mess up, and fast. The chairman turned to the director. Maurice, get to the family. No. I take that back. Gerald, get to the family. We get to him. Bernie, you see, XR13 is by far the best counterintelligence specialist we have ever trained. If we get close to his son, he'll know, and he will be ready. We're talking about one man, Gerald. I don't care how good and well trained he is. We are the American friggin' government. Our resources are unlimited. The general gave the CIA director a stern look. So do you know where the woman and the boy are or not? I do. In a calm, quiet tone, the chairman said, Gerald, make sure this woman and the boy don't see another sunrise. No. You know what? I'm going to give you the rest of the week. But no one will wake up Monday morning. I don't care how you do it, but do it. And by the end of the week, I also want XR13 and everyone associated with him dead, or we will begin to question your loyalty. You can't threaten me. I'm the director of the CIA.
I know who you are, where you live, what church you attend, and what school your children go to. I even know where Jill Morris, your mistress, gets her nails done every Tuesday. And you are right, Gerald. Well, technically, I can't do anything about your position technically. I'm just the chairman of the Federal Reserve Bank, just a paper pusher. Bernie took off his glasses and leaned forward. His voice dropped to a decibel above a whisper. But let me tell you what I can do, Gerald. I can use the resources of the American government to do to you what needs to be done to protect this nation. And if this means arranging for you to fall on the pointy end of a bullet head first, then I will not hesitate to act in whatever way I deem is in the interest of America. And the recordings? The general asked. Find them, Maurice. And any other evidence implicating America in any wrongdoing. I do not have to tell either of you what will happen if XR13 divulges any physical evidence of the government's involvement with 9/11.